Alright guys, Edge here from Hitstone Gaming, and as you can see, we got Nier Automata footage. This is my review of said Nier Automata. Is it Automata or Automata? I don't know. But, so, I got some footage. Gonna warn you, in my opinion, light spoilers. So, just handle whatever I have in this footage. Just be warned, there are light spoilers. When I say light spoilers, I don't mean like who's a boss and everything. I mean more like you're gonna see characters that you play as. Right there is a kind of a spoiler. You play as multiple characters. I'm not gonna get into that until later on. So this is a action RPG. Platinum Games had their hand in this. Square Enix, I believe, published it. It's a pretty cool game. They mix multiple different play styles. Right here, you're going to see like that's the top-down bullet hells. Arcades had this, but this is a pretty popular genre. It's niche, but it's pretty popular. You're going to see the gameplay work pretty well in this. I got pegged right there. How this segment works out, as far as like whenever they introduce into the game, it's pretty well done. I like it. I think it's quite well done. Teammates are idiots and they don't know how to dodge. Like Master Piccolo really needs to train them some, but Pavlok and all that. Anyways, so we have the whole thing of like flying around, destroying the orbs and shooting the enemies. Now, I did not realize that you can destroy those orbs with melee attacks. Like, the orbs that you can't destroy with the bullets, you can destroy with the melee attacks. I learned that like much later on. And you have two different flight modes. This flight mode is really fun. Change direction with the right stick versus you don't have to change direction at all. And if you don't change direction with the right stick, you'll automatically face whatever direction you're moving. So you need to be really good at this goes from bullet hell to specifically twin stick shooter, which I guess you could say is a subgenre of bullet hell. I don't really know. But yeah. So right there you can see I'm just laughing at that person, just troll spin, like you died. So they implement those two versions of gameplay really well. In my opinion, like, beyond really well. I couldn't believe how well it was implemented, actually. So this is like the whole intro mission, and really there's not too much going on to talk about right now. You're going to see like, honestly, I'd say like some Star Fox 64 gameplay going on here. Which Platinum did do the Star Fox Zero, which apparently was a really bad game. I wouldn't know, I didn't play it. But so while this is going on, I'm going to talk about some other things of the game and get back into gameplay a bit later. So let's go with graphics. The game looks really well. I play on the PS4 Pro. I don't know if boost mode's enabled or if this is a PS4. I think this is a PS4 Pro game, so boost mode doesn't mean anything. And graphics, it looks good. It runs smooth. I didn't encounter any frame rate drops, so I don't really know. I played and beat the game all the way to the end, which I'm gonna go ahead and say there's you have to beat the game 3 times just to actually get a resolution. Let alone if you want the true resolution, you'll have to experience all 4 endings and then get the 5th best ending, if you will. Beyond that, as I'm saying, graphics, they look good, and the game doesn't really suffer the any FPS through it. I don't know if this is 60 or 30, I can't really tell you. Right here we just have a beautiful scene of intro. 2B comes in, Look at that Japanese stuff, fan service. And so you have great graphics, good frame rate with great graphics. I don't know if it's 30 or 60, but it's very consistent for whichever one it is. Moving from graphics, let's talk about gameplay right here real quick, where you can see how this is just the normal action combat. Platinum Games is pretty famous for this. They've had multiple games that nailed it, some games that didn't quite nail it. I think it's really cool. Depending on the weapons you have equipped, your combos between like square for light attacks, triangle for heavy attacks. Each weapon, depending if you have it equipped in your light or heavy slot, depends on how the weapon interacts. So like I have a sword in my light slot and a heavy sword in my heavy slot. But I could change that to where the heavy sword's in my light and I have different main attacks for square, different attacks for triangle. You can get combos by doing like square, square, triangle. I don't know if you'll see that in this or how many times you'll see it. I don't really remember how many times I've put it in the gameplay footage that I use. And this is footage with 2B at the beginning of the game. I played and beat the game on normal. So any footage with 2B is normal gameplay, but I went back and got some recording with 9S and A2, which I've already told you I'm going to be saying who they are and have them in the footage. So you can expect stuff like that. And that footage, because I went back after beating the game to get that footage, I put the game on easy so that I would have, for sure I can get footage of them. So that's just like warning, that footage is not necessarily good for showing the difficulty of the game, which all normal, this game's pretty difficult in my opinion. Moving on to something else though. Let's talk about the sound of the game. Just the ambient noise is pretty good. I didn't really notice it that much, but like when you're fighting and you're hitting things with your weapons and everything, like sword cutting through steel, you actually hear that and everything. It's done pretty well. But looking at, say, a more important part about it, with I'm about to transition to a different scene coming up, if I'm not mistaken. But the more important thing is the soundtrack itself. The soundtrack for this game is godlike. I will be going out and buying the soundtrack for this game. Just saying. Because it's great. It's amazing. It's eargasm after eargasm. Amazing soundtrack. I swear I put a scene transition in here. Did I not? Oh, I did. Okay. So, alright, here we go. So this is still in the prologue mission. If anybody played the demo, you recognize this footage. Aside from like the flying, that was not in the demo. So, why I have this footage in here is just like, so this is not the only types of boss in the game, and I mean like the Goliath type huge enemies that kind of make, like these enemies make the bosses from Shadow of the Colossus jealous. And they just dwarf them, I feel. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But, so, these aren't the only types of bosses. You'll have bosses that are your size or like in between these and all that, and like they're pretty good on how they're done. But like, bosses in general are done really well. I have this boss showcased because I think this is a very good showcase of like the larger than lifestyle boss. I sucked at dodging so many of these attacks during this fight. I just kept getting destroyed. When I actually was able to dodge, it worked out just fine. Now, I don't think this is like, there were probably better boss battles I could have showed, but like, it works out. Though I definitely feel, because this one takes forever, especially on normal and all that, it's pretty slow paced. Combat with the giant enemies works pretty well in any situation they throw it in, whether you're in a aerial combat situation or on the ground. Like, it works pretty well. You see these explosions happening on his arm when he's going to attack and everything. This is actually 9S is a scouter type Yorha unit. Android, I guess. I'll just use Android. So what scouters are good at, or scanners, my bad. And they're very good at hacking. So whenever you see these explosions on the enemy's body, 9S is hacking into the enemy. I don't really know how much I can talk about. Now, set pieces like this are pretty cool. I think there's like one other boss that really uses set piece examples like this. And people might disagree with me, and I can't think of what the boss is, but when you have to defend a missile, that's the boss I'm talking about, where I think it's a very good set piece boss. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say. I guess just kind of enjoy this combat. I can't think of much else to ramble on about this. I honestly think, I don't know, I probably should have edited this to be a bit smaller of footage. I mean, I can change that right now, can't I? Just give me a second. Because I swear I've said enough about this. Well, no, actually I haven't, because like there's another segment to see. Not really. Alright. Give me a second here. Alright. This is unprofessional, but whatever. So, we're moving on to 9S gameplay. Now, I do not have a lot of 9S gameplay, because I kind of wanted to like showcase what he's about, and so I didn't show his melee combat because his melee combat sucks. But what you're gonna do in a lot of 9S fights is you're gonna dodge around, stay away from people, hack them, play that hacking minigame, which is actually really fun. I love it. And then you're gonna blow up the robot and stuff. Now, about this hacking gameplay, this footage is on easy, and like I'm destroying this enemy. One, I'm way over leveled it. But I hated playing as 9S until I realized he's not about his combos. You press triangle, which is the heavy attack of other people, and you get the damage on. Well, with him, you hold triangle, you hack them, and then you're able to cause a lot of damage through the hacking. That's just how he works. Now, we'll see. Now, as you're exploring as 2B, you're going to find a bunch of chests.
We should probably go talk to their leader first.
These chests you can open, but some of them you can't. Here, I'm showcasing one example of one of these chests, where it is, and that 9S is who you use to open these chests, because you have to hack them. I was not paying attention at the beginning of that. So now, third character, A2. Now, you see her dash right there, or her dodge. I really like it. It's pretty interesting. Once again, this is on easy. I'm just showcasing how she's similar to 2B move-wise. So every character field, L3 and R3, you have this self-destruct thing. Well, she doesn't self-destruct, she does a limiter release, which the other two people, when you self-destruct, you lose their skirt or pants, whichever one's applicable to them. She kind of loses everything but her pants. So I go and I'm just trying to showcase the stuff with her. Her combat's very similar to 2B, but you have this berserk mode, which is what the limiter release thing is, and it's very interesting and all that. I think it's really cool. I didn't find much use for it, actually. Like, it seemed more detrimental. You have charge attacks by holding square or triangle. With her, you don't, but you have a taunt. But yeah, that's the gameplay in a gist. I know this is kind of like
wanna get killed, huh?
like I'm bad at this editing stuff. I'll get better with it, I promise. But so what do I give this game? I would give this game. So as I said, I'm getting away from the number system. I can't handle it anymore. I think the number system isn't really applicable, because what is a number? Everybody has a different meaning for a 7 or an 8 out of 10 anyways. So I'm going to use a system where, I can't remember exactly what I said last time, but which I'm going to have a video explaining how I do my reviews later up, like how I judge it. But I would say this game is a definite buy, but maybe not a full price buy. You might not really enjoy everything about the game, so you might want to catch it on discount. I know I enjoyed everything this game had. I forgot to mention the story. The story is amazing in this game. You ever think you would feel for a machine? This game is going to make you feel for these androids. And make you, if you're weak of heart, it will cut your heartstrings to pieces. But I would say this is a buy. And while I don't mind paying $60 for it, other people might. So try and catch it on discount if you can. But I think it's well worth the money. It might not be. So buy, cautiously buy. I would say, like, cautious buy. So this has been Edge from Headstone Gaming with the review. Signing out. See y'all later.